Fire in the hole! Time for another episode, yet another episode of Root Boy Cooks Happy Father's Day edition. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. The charcoal's getting hot and we got our ingredients spread out everywhere, and we're going to be making some chicken gumbo. I wanted to make chicken filet gumbo, but I couldn't find filet powder in this town anywhere. I could have got it on the internet if I'd have planned ahead a little bit, but I didn't. So it's going to be just plain old chicken gumbo with andouille sausage, Cajun style. Let me show you that. Cajun style andouille sausage, made especially for gumbo. And this is Justin Wilson's recipe for gumbo, and I'll be doing some Justin Wilson jokes later on in the video. So stay tuned. Okay, I got my chicken and andouille sausage on the hot fire, but Justin Wilson doesn't do it that way. He doesn't believe in browning his chicken up first, but I do. So what I'm going to do next is get the chicken off of there and put the pot on. So that'll be the next step. Anyway, I just want to show you that I got all that chicken and some andouille sausage. We've got to cut that sausage up. It's all going to cook inside the gumbo, but I just like to put a little smoky flavor on it. So stay tuned. I guess we're recording. Anyway, I just don't know. But anyway, the pot's on the fire and we got to make a roux now. So you know how to do that. That's just 1 part olive oil and 2 parts flour, and it's got to be kept constantly mixed. And of course I don't see my spoon out here, so now I got to go get the spoon. So okay, the pot's on the fire and now we got to make a roux. So as you know, a roux is 1 part olive oil, whatever part you decide to make. And I'm going to use let's see, what's this, a half a cup of olive oil. Half a cup of olive oil and a cup of flour to make my roux. And I've got to attend to this roux. I've got to stir it. I can't just let it cook or it'll be ruined, because this is going to be a dark roux. And it's 1 part olive oil, 2 parts flour. Okay, that's a cup of flour right there. And we're going to give that a stir. And I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll bring you back and show you what that roux looks like when it's done. It's got to get a dark caramel color to it, and it's just not there yet, so stay tuned. Okay, my roux is just about done. And could actually go darker than that. I just want to show you the color of that. It's kind of the color of chocolate syrup. It's kind of a dark brown. Justin Wilson made it. It was almost black. But I think I'm going to stop it right there. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful color. And I think I'm going to throw my onions in there. I've got the holy trinity right here, of course, of Cajun cooking. I've got a whole onion. So I'm going to clarify that up. And when you're making this, don't let that roux get on you. It'll burn like napalm. So what you want to do now is clarify the onions in the roux. Oh man, that smells good enough to eat right there. And I got to tell you about onions. You take away my onions, I can't cook. I can't cook if you take away my onion. And those onions look, I don't know if you can see them, but look at that. That looks good enough to eat right there. You could probably put that on a couple of pieces of bread and make a sandwich out of that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is throw in some chicken broth, because the roux could burn if I don't. But if I pour in this chicken broth, it won't burn. And I love these chicken broth containers that you can't open without a knife. Anyway, I'm going to pour in I'm going to put this whole box of chicken broth in there. Probably about 4 cups, maybe more. Stir that up. See, now, with that liquid, the roux can't burn. See that beautiful caramel color of that roux? It's not dark enough, actually. It should be even darker than that. But it's going to cook some more. I'm going to put the rest of this broth in there. There we go. That's looking good. Yeah. Got to save room in the pot for all that chicken. And I also got to put the other members of the trinity in there, which is celery, diced celery, and a diced up bell pepper. That's the trinity. Get that out of the way. Okay. Now that the roux is in there bubbling, this beautiful brown bubbly liquid with those veggies in there, we're gonna. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. We're gonna put some the rest of the chicken stock in. I'm not wild about this brand of chicken stock. I like the other one's got more color to it. Okay, we got that in there. Now we're gonna add some white wine. We're gonna cook that a bit. Now Justin uses Sauterne. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can watch his video. But I got some Chenin Blanc, which is a white wine. Just going to put about the same amount of white wine as I had of chicken stock, which is about, oh, I don't know, 4 cups, half a bottle. Half the bottle of white wine. You know, you got pitmaster privilege right here. That's not good, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm not a wine person. As you know, I prefer beer. And I will be drinking a beer because this has to all simmer. So, I'm going to let that get happy in there. I'm going to put a couple of other things in there. I'm going to bring you right back as soon as I get my other ingredients going. I'm going to zoom in on that. Doesn't that look good? That looks good enough to eat just as it is. Okay, it's time to add some hot sauce. Got some Louisiana hot sauce. And we're going to add, about 2 tablespoons of that. I don't know. I like it hot. I'll put quite a bit of that in there. It gives it a nice color too. That's beautiful. And I'm going to put some Lee and Perron's Worcestershire sauce. It calls for another 2 tablespoons, and like Wilson says, 2 tablespoons and a little bit more. A little lagniappe of the Louis and Perron's. I'm going to give that a stir. That's all the spices that go in it, except for some salt, which I'll add later to taste. Meanwhile, my gumbo is starting to look like something. It's time to add the meat. So I'm going to add the andouille sausage, which I've cut up, and I got some more over here, and some chicon. Quite a bit of chicon, a couple of breasts, and the rest of that sausage, some thighs, some chicken thighs. I'm going to put all that in there. Get that all in there. Give that a stir. Yeah, that's what you call gumbo, baby. That's a gumbo right there. That's got to simmer a while. So I'm going to put the top on that, let it simmer. And I'll bring you back, show you what that looks like in a little about 40 minutes, I guess. I'm going to simmer that. So stay tuned. Okay, my chicken gumbo is looking good. It's going to cook a little while longer, but it looks good enough to eat already. It smells excellent. And my wife is going to make some white rice to put that on. All my kids are coming over for Father's Day, and we're going to celebrate. Happy Father's Day again to everybody out there. And I got a very special beer for myself today. And also, I'm not using the Root Boy mug. I'm going to use my dad mug. Because today's Father's Day. I throw that camera off just then when I yank that strap. Now you can see my mug. Okay. So this is Circus Boy. Circus Boy Hefeweizen. Not sure what that means or where this is made. It doesn't even say on it. Sarah got me this for Father's Day. And we're going to try some Circus Boy Hefeweizen in the old Frosty Dad mug. Oh, it looks good. Looks like a Pilsner. Or maybe a Hefeweizen. Anyway, there's the Circus Boy brew. Look at the frost on that baby, huh? Let's take a taste of that. Happy Father's Day to me. Ah, that is wonderful. I got to get some more of that. Heffenweisen. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, I promised you a Justin Wilson joke. I'm not going to tell you the one he told in the Gumbo video because hopefully you'll watch the Gumbo video. I'll put the link in the description. I'm going to tell you another one. You see, there was these two old boys in Louisiana. They was sitting in a bar sipping on a beer, and this was down by the logging camps. And so into the bar come old Ole Johnson, and Ole come in there dragging an old logging chain behind him, old heavy logging chain, making a racket, clattering into the bar. Ole came in there, drank him a beer, finished his beer, left the bar, went out dragging that old logging chain. Them old boys looked at each other, trying to figure out what was going on, and they don't know. Next day come, work was over, they went into the bar to have a drink after a heavy day of logging that pulpwood down there in Louisiana. And here come old Ole Johnson dragging a logging chain behind him. Dragged that old logging chain up to the bar, sat down, drank him a beer, then he went on out, dragging that old logging chain behind him, that old heavy logging chain. Them old boys looked at each other. They said, tomorrow, if he comes in here tomorrow dragging that chain, I'm going to ask him what he's doing with that old chain. And the other boy nodded his head. He said, yeah, you do that. You ask old Ole Johnson what he's doing with that old heavy logging chain. Next day come. Here come old Ole Johnson dragging that logging chain. Drug it on up to the bar. Got him a drink of beer. That one boy looked at him. He says, Ole, what in the world are you doing dragging that logging chain behind you? Ole says, you ever try pushing one? You ever try pushing one? I guarantee. Hoo-wee. That's some good gumbo. That's a bad joke though. You know, Justin Wilson used to be a stand-up comic for a while before he took up cooking. His brother was a chef, and he learned a lot from watching his mother, the way I did, not about Cajun cooking but about Italian cooking. And my gumbo's got a little while to go. It's got to thicken up some, and that chicken has to cook through. And like I said, I'm going to serve that over rice, and I'm not going to bore you anymore with the cook. I'm going to have me some more of that Circus Boy ale and a Frosty Dad mug in honor of Father's Day. So that's about it. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Next week I got something special planned. My daughter is going to take over for me, and we're going to do a father-daughter cook. So don't miss that. We're going to be making Georgia chicken. So alright, my sauce, that gumbo sauce, is getting nice and thick. Look at that. I wish I had some filet powder to put in there, but I just don't. Next time I make this, I'll definitely will have some filet powder. So we're going to cover that up. Let it stay warm in there. I'm going to serve that up. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Thank you for watching.